Like they try so hard. I think this falls into the genre of analytical people, where you tend to overanalyze and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to do something until I am a master in it.
Yeah, or I have the best equipment, or
right.
Yeah, I think honestly it has to do because you don't want to get mocked.
Yes,
you don't want anyone to make fun of you, and really getting to the point where you're not fearful of those things is the point where you can find success. I think fear holds, a lot of people back.
Well, I think you're always going to have fear. I think you just have to embrace the fear.
Yeah,
you just have to like maybe you're not a person that is like fear's gone or whatever, or I'm fearless, but I think if you're afraid, you should just embrace that fear. You should grab onto it and use it as a gauge of, is this going to be something you should be doing?
They say a lot of, a large majority of the wealth in this country has been created by immigrants. Mm-hmm. And my husband is an immigrant. And we have several here at Intero. And it's very interesting to see the drive that they have. And I think it's because they experienced a different type of lifestyle when they were in their home country. So they come here and it's like they don't fear failure.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a choice. Like they're like, I'm in America. Like this is the best. I have so much opportunity ahead of me. Which brings me as a parent, when you are lucky enough to be born in this country, how do you teach your kids? I always said you got to be poor once in your life, but then you have a child and you're like, I don't want you to be poor ever. But then what if they don't grow up like me? Like that's going to be a bummer because they may fail because they've never experienced failure until they're an adult. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They've never had to deal with
struggle.
They never had to deal with eating ramens and. Have you ever had to eat hot dog sandwiches?
No, but I can one up you.
Let's see.
I can one up you. So you said ramen.
Yeah.
I would eat ramen at school. I would open the sack. I would sprinkle the powder on it. I would eat it like this. Like a hard sandwich.
Like a Rice Krispie?
I win. Yes.
What?
Yeah. I hope my mom watches this and she can be like, she's going to fib and say she doesn't know that I did that, but she totally packed it in my lunch. Yeah. So yeah. When you have eaten a hard sandwich of ramen or a hot dog sandwich, I think that you're predisposed to like success because you are never going to eat that ever again in your life. And you'll make sure your family doesn't ever have to eat that. But isn't it funny? Like sometimes I'm like, I want to get my daughter like a ramen, a hard piece of ramen.
But see, now ramen is a delicacy now. There's ramen restaurants.
Wait, let me clarify. I'm talking. Is it Top Ramen? Is that the brand?
No. They're not selling you Top Ramen.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or Smack.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know, but like ramen in general is very good.
I had Spam once or a couple times.
I've had Spam.
I did not enjoy Spam.
Yeah, Spam.
I even tried not sauteing it, but like frying it or whatever.
Yeah, you fried Spam.
Yeah, it didn't make a
Look at me. I came from the country. Maybe in California, but it was the country. But man, all of those experiences like molded me into who I am. So I don't know. I think if you just change your mindset and you look at like it wasn't failure me eating Spam. It was. But at this stage, I bet some really wealthy people would be like, "Oh my God, it's so sad that you ate some Spam." Like, whatever. I was a happy kid, and
as a kid, you didn't know any different. You just was like, "Oh, okay, this is what I'm eating today,"
Yeah. I don't know. I think everything you are today, a cumulative product of your failures. So I look at failure as not a bad word, like a lot of people do.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. So. Let's move on. Let's move forward. So, What would you say what's some good advice to someone that is failing? They could have just reached a failure. Maybe they're in a succession of failures. What do you think is something that they should be doing or thinking about to try to like persevere?
Number one, mental strength, grit. I've told you guys all to read the book called Grit. It's very important to understand that you got to pull yourself up and don't rely on someone else to pull you up by the bootstraps. Like do it for yourself, and get past that mindset of like I'm because a lot of people, they set this crazy outlandish goal that's not really attainable, and then they don't meet it because it wasn't attainable and they didn't plan. And then they feel bad and, they just sink down more because they failed yet again. When in reality, if they can just reset, have that mental strength, sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and write down their goal and not just write down the goal. And that's the big mistake that most people make. How do you get to the goal? How do you plan to get there? So in our business, in real estate, and I've talked to you about this, like, okay, I want to, make X amount of dollars. Like, what do we need to do to get you there? Let's break it down per day, week, month, and year. And I'll make sure in 12 months that you hit those numbers purely because you planned. And somebody can't just say, I want to make $500,000 my first year in this business, and then go about their day and wake up at 10 a.m. And it's impossible. You got to plan.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying is reverse engineer.
Yeah, for sure.
Goal. Like, it can be real estate. I've done it before. So like, what I have to do on a daily basis gets real once you actually break it down that way. And then just like any goal.
Anything, marathons, I'm just going to wake up one day and run 26 miles.
Yeah.
You gotta
you
start
have
off
to
practicing.
run, you have to get those miles under your feet. And that really is the same difference for everything else that you're trying to do. Whether it's fitness,
absolutely.
Whether it's business. And you definitely have to hustle. And that mental grit is real. I mean,
Angela Duckworth is the author of that book, by the way.
Angela Duckworth. And what's the name of the book?
Grit.
All right, I'm going to have to read it. Is it on Audible?
Yeah, Audible. You can get it on Amazon, obviously. Also, she did a TED Talk on it, too. So you can look up the app,
okay.
TED Talks, or I think it's just TED. It's a really good one.
Add it to the description below. I'm going to link out the book, and I'm going to link out the Audible link as well.
Nice.
Cool.
So it's a good one.
Awesome. So let's say you're moving forward now. How would you say someone is going to continue that progress towards their goal? Like, say they've already failed, they pull themselves up. How would you say, like, okay, now you need to, keep going? Like, what would you tell someone to, like, don't stop?
First of all, I'm wondering, people are probably like, why is she the foremost authority on this? I'm not at all. My role in our business is to motivate about 100 people on a daily basis. The more successful they are, the more successful I am, and the company is. So that's, I think, why George asked me to be here.
She keeps it real. That's why.
Yeah, I do.
She's 100% honest. Like, she is the broker that I work at, just full disclosure, but she, to be honest, I mean, she will tell me straight, like, what needs to happen, and I appreciate that, because you have to be genuine and not fake about it, like, oh, I'm doing this, and you should do that if you haven't done it yourself, or you don't believe that person can do it. So yes.
Yeah, I think honesty and being genuine about that is good. Accountability is good. It's hard to hold 100 people accountable, so I really look for people to partner up here and hold each other accountable. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, God, I failed again, but I know I have what it takes to meet that goal, I highly suggest that you find someone who is on your same level, whether it be in a different industry or if it's in your personal life or maybe your physical health. Someone maybe that's even a little bit better, which would be more like a mentor position. But if you find somebody on your same level, let's talk about like physical health, like you want to get in shape. Which is I'm successful in business. I'm a successful mother and wife, I would like to think. But when it comes to my physical health, like I feel that all the time. Like George watches me. I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym today. And it like falls off after 3 days. So everybody struggles in certain ways. I don't think anybody is like, top notch in every arena of their life.
No way.
So if you're failing on that level, I suggest you find somebody with the same drive as you. And I think that's the hardest part.
Yes.
Like finding somebody that is got your mental strength and the same vision that you have for that one thing and won't fall off the wagon, along the way. And then you're stuck in some, accountability relationship where the other person's so lazy.
Yes.
So, accountability though, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. So you just gotta, like I said, be accountable. You have your plan. You have to readjust your plan sometimes. Like it just has to be what it is. So, but that makes a lot of sense.
Another thing, I think resetting your brain, because sometimes you get so deeply involved in the failure that you have experienced, you need to do something interesting. And a lot of people think that doing something interesting is something exciting or fun. That's not the case. Actually, something